everyone. I hope everyone is having a lovely day. My name is Catherine, and you've come to my channel, which is Cupcakes, Chainsaws, and Crafting. Currently, I am working on an altered Reader's Digest book to follow the prompts for Junk Journal January by Debbie at Ink and Page. If you go to her YouTube channel, which is fantastic, she actually has a link that'll take you to her site, and you can register. It's all free, but then you get all these wonderful printouts. I have not printed every single one of them, but for the first day, January 1st, which I am a day behind, well then the prompt is open. So what I'm going to do is I've started working on, like I said, this altered book. I've only gotten through a few pages, but for open, what I am planning on doing is starting on the first part of the book using her lovely digitals. There are so many. I mean, there's numbers. You'll just need to go to the site to check it out. But I am going to use this beautiful page to fill these sections. I'm actually trying to, since this book is smaller than 8.5 by 11, I am trying to use up some of this paper that I have that has the holes already punched in it, and I don't really use it for anything else. And this is just regular thin paper, since it's going to be glued to the book. If I was making my own journal with the spine and binding, I would use thicker paper because this would not hold up well, but this is perfect for gluing. Or if you use double-sided tape, whichever your preference. This is perfect for this type of project. I just happened to I found her channel last night, so it was too late to really start, but I did print out a few of the pages, browse the others, and hopefully we'll get to the second page, the second prompt today. I think I'm going to do this here. I know that watching someone cut is not very fun, but it's part of the process, right? Oh, and I did start another video of how I am working on this Reader's Digest book to alter it, and explain that I'm having a mishap with my printer, so I have ink all over the place. Just go this way. With these, I do like making these journals because nothing has to be totally perfect. Okay, there we go. So I want these to actually have that. Trying to figure out the best way to do this, since this is not the exact same. I think I'll do that and then cut it. Okay. And then cut around the edges. The good thing about these is you can kind of it's been a while since I've done one, so I hope I'm doing this right. We will see. If not, we can always, if it's not even, we can always cover it with washi tape or lace, something to that effect. Because these do not have to be perfect. Okay, so that will fit. It doesn't even have to cover the whole thing. Sometimes I like to leave a little bit of space just for the accent, but yeah. So I think I'm gonna scoot this down so we see a little bit of that. That background actually happens to be beautiful because it blends with the paper. I think I need to straighten that out a little bit. I was explaining in my altered book video, which I won't put out until I finish doing the rest of it. Just preparing the rest of it. I have like maybe a fourth of it done. This will be beautiful. Sticking it here. space there. And then I'm just gonna, I'll glue this and then place it where it needs to be. Sorry, I didn't get everything all prepared like I should have. So with all the pages that I pulled out, well then, I'm going to use them for my glue stick pages. But look at these papers, like I showed you that one, but these are just some of the first ones that I printed out. Aren't they lovely? I think there's 23 pages on, I can't remember. I will have to go through and look. But there's ephemera. There are circles with numbers so that you can do dates if you would like. But anyhow, the videos I've done in the past were all flip-throughs and not me just making or creating. So, and I tend to get distracted, and oh, this is almost, that's why, of course. My printer stopped working. It was eating the paper. Well, first it was leaving streaks all over. Then it was eating the paper. And I've been having problems with it to begin with. So I have another one on the way. Because of course it was just beyond the warranty period. I swear the printers nowadays, I end up buying, and I don't even make junk journals all the time, and I don't print all the time, but I feel like they last less than 2 years, and even this one, it was brand new, very frequently it leaves lines on the paper. It chews things up. Randomly it won't connect with with my Mac, so then I end up having to airdrop things to my phone so that I can then print from my phone. So it's a big old mess. Oh, I think that's gonna be pretty. Maybe a little uneven, but you know what? We're working with it. So then we'll do this. I like to, like I said, I like to leave a little bit of the writing, just because it's pretty. So I'm going to do that. Actually, I'm going to cut this short. I need to cut a little bit shorter anyways, so. What are you doing, Shadow? I have a couch here in my office / craft room, mostly a craft room, and storage for a lot of my books, because I love books that I read, vintage books. But there's a couch too, so then he likes to come in and hang out with me while I'm crafting and doing things. Okay, so that's going to be, okay, if that's going to be like that, then I really need to cut this shorter. And if it's uneven, like I said, you can always add washi tape. Until I get into the groove of this again, it may be a little slow, so I may end up speeding things up. Okay, so that's great like that. Actually, if I do that, why is this just wanting to be uneven? Probably the way I cut it. That's okay. We'll work with that and then fix it later. We can always fix it later. So on to another glue stick. I'll use the rest of that when I have a little bit of more free crafting time and I'm not on a video. A lot of times I'll use the double-sided double stick tape around the edges so it stays better, but for the purpose of time, I'm going to use the glue stick. You got to make sure that you get it all covered, otherwise there will be bubbles or it will peel up. And I realize some of this I'm going to end up having to cut off anyhow, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. Okay. huh? Not perfect, but close enough, right? Okay. And then once the glue dries, I will trim the edge, and then I will just glue this so that we have our pocket here. But isn't that beautiful? I'm going to do the other side as well. I just love those colors. We have one neighbor. We live out in the country, and actually I'm going to go see what that is. Okay, the pups were going crazy, and like I said, we live out in the country, and there are a lot. We have one neighbor up a little ways away, so it's usually because he feeds and takes care of a lot of stray cats, so they like to go up and play with them. However, if they're meandering, if the cats are meandering around, then it causes the dogs to bark. But what this is all the beautiful deer. We have different sets of deer, but right now there's usually 3 or 4 that come around multiple times during the day. And my husband's actually sitting out on the porch, and it's turning dark at this moment. But he just stays very quiet and still, sitting on the porch. And then the deer are just probably about 20 yards from him, just eating, snacking, having a good old time. It's really beautiful. We get so many pictures of them. However, it never does it justice. Just like sunsets and you know, anything beautiful in nature, it's really hard to capture the true beauty and essence of it with your phone. We have a camera. It's an old one, but we took a couple classes a long time ago on base and when we were active duty, but then haven't really followed up on them. So okay, let's see here, trying to get this one to match. Oh, that's not going to be too bad. Okay, so that'll work. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned it before, I'm using the spare pages from what I tore out of the book as my glue pages, just so we don't waste anything. I use these for when I'm gluing, or old magazines are great too, because you can just turn the page, or I use it for backings for lots of projects. In fact, something else that we're going to do today, unless this is taking too much time, I may speed it up and get rid of my talking, because I have another little project that I'm working on for the first queue of open. Let's see here, so I'm going to measure that up here, line it up, line it up. I just try to make sure there's no bad words or anything that I don't like on the pages. So. Okay, so we have that. I may end up putting a little bit of washi tape there just because there's a gap. But isn't that a beautiful spread? This should be dry enough that I can cut it. I guess it would help if I had my glasses on. I guess I could have just folded it up and glued it. Silly me. That's what I'll do with this one. There's already glue on it, so I'm just going to fold it up that way, kind of to reinforce the page anyhow. That was a better idea. I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with. Sorry, my head's in the way. Okay. So isn't that a pretty spread? So then, you know what? Just so it's done, I think I will go ahead and do a little bit of gluing this down. I don't need the whole thing, but feel like I have so many glue sticks. However, they don't last very long at all. So I'm gonna glue. If you are new to, so I use the, if you're new to junk journaling or making journals, well then the glue sticks are great. And then for edges, I like this art glitter glue because it's just easier to work with, and it's just, it comes out in a little dab here. Normally I have a little credit card to run this, but I've been cleaning and organizing in my craft room while I've been preparing for this, plus with the holidays, so I'm not as organized as I would like to be, but I realized I needed to just get going with the project. Otherwise it would be mid-January and I would be starting on the first prompt. So we have our first page. It's warping a little bit because of the glue, but when I finish today, well then I will close the book and then put something heavy on top. So, okay. A tip, especially if you have something that's not attached to the book, I always put my finger in the area where I'm not placing glue so that I don't make mistakes, because I'm very prone to that. Look how pretty that is. With one of the very first pages of ink and pages for the junk journal challenge. So I'm actually going to place this, actually I'll turn it that way. And then you can take a screenshot of everything, or just go to Ink and Page YouTube site, and then it'll show you where to go from there. Plus you can watch her tutorial, which is great. And if you've never made a journal before, she's making one from scratch, not an altered book, so that's awesome. So then what we'll do is, I want to make sure no glue leaks out, so I'm going to do this when I close it. But another project I'm going to work on for the open is, I started it last night. So this is one of the lovely pages here along with the junk journal. Well, in Canva, I created some envelopes and I put that design on a couple envelopes. And we're going to make stuffed envelopes, but it's kind of a different process for that. So in order to make it stronger, well then I just glued it. This is from Amazon packing paper, because you're not really going to see the back, and in fact some of this is going to be glued, it'll be glued to the page anyhow. Some of these other ones are, I've done some other ones, I put together some other ones that I stuffed with little tags and such, and some of these designs are from the, I love this one, that's so pretty, from the digital scrapbook online. If you register, you can get 5 free downloads a day, and it's more for digital scrapbooking, but they do have a lot of different designs. And for the freebies, I can't use these in my digitals to sell, and you can't sell them, but for making a project like this, even if I do sell this later, that is fine, because I'm not reproducing it. But that's a good site to use. Okay, so then now what I'm going to do, I have it backed on that. It doesn't matter if there's wrinkles. I mean, in a perfect world there wouldn't be, but this is not perfect paper. But I like to use up scraps. So now what we're going to do is just cut. This seems counterintuitive. Okay. So then what we're going to do, and I'm just going to use one of these pieces of paper, is once again we're going to glue This really doesn't matter where you place it because you're covering most of the writing anyways. So you're just gluing these edges, and then this one, you're gonna glue the whole thing. But then I like to do kind of the edges here. Sorry. And then just trying to fit this in here so it still looks like it's attached. I mean, you can make your own envelopes, but I saw this as a tutorial and I thought, hey, that looks kind of fun. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Sometimes so it fits better. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to get that perfect. Sometimes so it fits better, you could cut this teeny little piece off, but that's okay. Like I said, I created all this in Canva. I'm not a beginner, but I certainly don't know how to create a full digital kit in Canva yet. I think because I mean, even the designs I create, there's so many options, and I end up with like decision paralysis. Okay. So let's see here. I'm just trying to make this a little thicker so I can show you. So this is all glued there, and then now you have an envelope. I'm going to let it let the glue kind of sit before I stuff it with anything, and I'll probably this is for the second day, day 2, but I'm not using this paper, but this is some of her designs. But see, my printer's doing lines, and then, you know, I had crap all over it. Sorry, crud. Pardon my language. So I'm not going to use these. May have to wait for my new printer. So then this, what we can do is, it may be too big. I have a smaller one. I experimented with different sizes, but so I can cut out and do the smaller one, or if I wanted to, I could always place it sideways like this and still have a pocket that I'm stuffing, and then ink it or add different gesso or lace or what have you, but that's just an option. So it actually would fit nicely. I just think it's it's almost a little bit too big, but that's just personal preference. So I'm going to stick this in here as well to flatten it and let it dry at the bottom there. And so that is day 1. Like I said, I'm a day behind. Day 1 for the Junk Journal January by Ink and Page, with just open. The prompt is open. Then the next one is script. I probably won't, since my printer isn't working very well, I probably won't get to that today. So I'm still going to be a day behind. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to record day 2 and day 3. But I hope everyone is having a lovely day, evening, upcoming weekend, and blessings to everyone. And we'll see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.